Sometimes a single word is enough to silence all the noise in the world. She doesn't explain, does not argue, does not convince, just play. Like the distant sound of a bell hidden in the fog, it passes through thought and rests directly in the center of attention, where the mind has not yet decided whether to run or remain. Maybe you've already felt this. A word spoken effortlessly from an ancient place. It makes the body slow down even before any understanding. The heart recognizes before the intellect. It's as if something invisible said, "Stop, listen, breathe." And for some seconds, everything organizes itself. There are words that were not meant to be understood. They were made to be crossed. Words that function as portals, not as concepts. On the way spiritual that is born from nature, sound carries presence. The vibration precedes the meaning, and the brain, accustomed to excess, quickly surrenders to what does not require effort. In modern life, we are trained to respond, interpret, judge. Every word asks a reaction, but some don't ask for anything. They just invite. When they appear, the attention bends spontaneously, like water meeting a gap. There is no fight. No, there is resistance. Just a silent return to now. That's why certain Shinto words capture attention within seconds. No because are rare or exotic, but because they carry the rhythm of the earth, running water, wind that doesn't need to advertise itself. They don't talk about the sacred. They let him pass. Upon hearing them, something old awakens. Not a personal memory, but a recognition deep, as if the body remembers a forgotten agreement with the invisible. An agreement simple: live in harmony, without separating what you feel from what exists. In this video, you will not be asked to learn definitions. You will be invited to feel breaks, listening to words like someone putting their ear to the trunk of an ancient tree, waiting for what cannot be forced. If you feel like there is something invisible guiding your days, even when everything seems confused, stay here. Maybe one of these words is about to find you. Allow yourself to take a few moments without rushing, like someone sitting on the edge of a calm river. If something resonates in silence, follow it. This path begins with attention, not with answers. Walk with us slowly, and notice what reveals itself when you just listen. No trying to understand, no running, no noise, just living presence. Before any meaning, there is sound. Before any interpretation, there is the vibration. When a word is born from nature, it does not need to be explained to be felt. The ear picks up, the body responds, and only then does the mind try to follow along. It's in this brief, almost imperceptible interval in which attention is captured, not by effort, but by recognition. Like the wind that passes through the skin before being seen in the leaves, the sound play first, understand later. Shinto keeps this simple wisdom. The word does not inform, she aligns. It adjusts its internal rhythm to the rhythm of the world, like water meeting its natural bed. In the rush of everyday life, the brain learns to filter out everything that doesn't seem urgent. Words, if they become noise, messages pass without landing. But when a sound carries silence inside him, something changes. Attention slows down, curious, like an animal that perceives the forest be quiet. It's not new that calls, it's depth. The brain, tired of choices, rest. When you find something that doesn't require a decision, Shinto words appear like this without compete. They do not ask for agreement or response. They just offer themselves as a smooth stone on the path, inviting the step to feel the ground. There is a special power in what you don't try to convince. Sounds that don't push the mind allow it to free itself. When we hear an ancient word, rooted in rivers, mountains, and seasons, the body recognizes forgotten patterns. Breathing adjusts, shoulders sag, the internal gaze broadens. None of this is thought out. Everything happens. The brain responds quickly because he encounters no threat or demands. Instead of an alert, opening. It's like walking barefoot and realizing the temperature of the earth guides each step. Sound guides without commanding, leads without rigid direction. In Shinto, nature is not a metaphor. It is a living language. Therefore, your words carry texture, weight, and climate. Some sound like water running between rocks. Others remember dense pause before rain. Upon hearing them, the brain leaves defense mode and goes into broad listening. There is no need to understand because there is no problem to solve. This absence of task creates immediate rest. In a world of aggressive stimuli, the gentle becomes irresistible. Attention becomes fixed because it can finally rest, like a leaf landing on the surface of a calm lake. This is how vibrational power precedes any meaning. Before knowing what the word means, the body has already decided to stay. The modern brain, overloaded, recognizes in this sound a path of least effort. It's not an escape, it's a return. Return to basic rhythm to exist without separation. Shinto words do not interrupt the flow, they reveal it. They function as an opening in excess, a space where silence breathes. When the attention is captured so quickly, not by surprise but by deep familiarity, the old man smiles inside and says, "It's safe here." Some words don't come to mind. They enter through the space between thoughts. When pronounced, they do not provoke clear images but subtle sensations, like a change in the air. In Shinto, certain words have this immediate effect because they were not created to explain the world, but to remind human beings of where they are. They don't point outward, they call inside. One of these words is kami. When you hear it, something stops. Not because it defines something specific, but because it refuses to be. Limited. Kami is not an object nor an idea closed. It is a presence that passes through. Mountain, ancient tree, water source, wind, unexpected. The brain tries to localize but fails gently, and in that gentle failure, the attention remains. As before, something too vast to be named. Another word is musubi. Its sound is round, almost like a knot being slowly tied. It speaks of connection, of living union between everything that exists. When listening to it, the body feels continuity. Nothing is isolated. Nothing starts alone. The mind, accustomed to separating, rests for a moment. The brain pays attention because it recognizes a pattern forgotten, that of belonging. It's like feeling your own rhythm fit into the larger rhythm of the world. Life. There is also hara, short, firm, silent inside. It points to the center of the body, below thought, where breathing naturally sits. When that word arises, attention falls downwards, like a stone thrown into still water. The excess of ideas lose strength. The brain responds quickly because it finds stability. Hara doesn't ask focus, it offers ground. Another word that captures it is misogi. Its sound is reminiscent of moving water. Don't talk about guilt, nor of correction, but of simple cleansing, like stepping into a cold river and letting it, he carries what he weighs. Upon hearing it, the body anticipates relief. The brain opens because it understands. Without thinking, you don't need to carry everything. There is something deeply calming about the idea of purify effortlessly, just letting it pass. There is still more, a space between sounds, an interval that is not empty, but a living pause. When this word appears, attention stretches, curious. The brain feels the absence as presence. It is the silence between two notes that makes music possible. But it doesn't explain nothing, but creates space for everything. And the brain, saturated with stimuli, thanks you immediately. These words capture attention because they do not dispute, they don't scream, they don't promise. They simply are, like a bell that is rung once and continues to ring for inside even after the sound disappears. The brain doesn't chase it because there is no nothing to achieve. He stays because something has settled. In Shinto, hearing these words is like passing through a discrete portal. Nothing changes on the outside, but inside, something is reorganized. Attention rests, not through effort, but through recognition, as if the body said before the mind, "Here, you can stay. Here, there is no need to defend yourself. Here, just listen." There are words that clean effortlessly. They don't remove anything by force. They just let it, the excess dissolves. In Shinto, the idea of purity is not linked to morals or judgment, but to the natural state of things when nothing is accumulated beyond what is necessary. Purity is return. This is when the river runs again without debris, when the air becomes transparent after of rain, when the body breathes without carrying the weight of what does not belong to it. When we hear words linked to purification, something profound happens. The brain, accustomed to solving problems, realizes that there is nothing to fix, just something to release. This subtle shift shifts attention from control to presence. Instead of tension, space appears. Instead of effort, stillness. It's like entering a simple place after a long time in noisy environments. The body immediately recognizes, here I can let my guard down. Presence is born from this gentle emptying. It's not rigid focus nor forced concentration. It's being where you already are. Shinto words related to presence do not pull the mind towards the future, nor push it into the past. They anchor in the now without announcing it. The brain responds quickly because you don't need to simulate scenarios. There is no danger. There is no charge. Just the moment presenting itself in its entirety, like a landscape seen without haste. In modern life, we carry invisible layers. Expectations, comparisons, noise constants. All of this creates a continuous heaviness that the body learns to normalize. But when a word of purification cuts through this accumulation, the relief is immediate. No because something external changed, but because something internal was allowed. Allowed to fall, allowed drain, allowed to disappear like dust carried by the wind. There is a moment when the mind perceives this lightness and tries to grab it. But the words Shinto do not allow possession. They teach that purity is not maintained by retention but per flow. The more you try to hold on, the more you lose. The more you trust, the more you returns to the center. This center is not a distant mystical place. It is the silent point where breathing settles on its own. If this idea resonates with you, it is a sign that something inside has already started to cleanse itself. No because you did something, but because you stopped resisting. This is, the subtlety of the path. Nothing needs to be added. Just removed excess interference. The return to center happens when the body remembers that it knows how to live without instructions constants. Presence words act as gentle reminders. They don't say do it, they say remain. Stay with what is simple, in what is alive now. Know that does not need an explanation to exist. When the brain experiences this state, even for a few seconds, it learns something new. Attention can rest. There is no need to chase meaning all the time. There is value in the silence that accompanies words. There is wisdom in the interval between a thought and other. In this space, purity reveals itself not as something ideal, but as something available. That's it. Back to the center. Not an achievement, but a constant return. How to wash your hands under running water when entering the house. A simple, repeated gesture that reminds the body where he really is. There is a harmony that is not imposed. It happens when humans stop put above what you don't see. In Shinto, the invisible is neither distant nor superior. He walks alongside, breathes together, observes in silence. When words evoke this coexistence, attention opens up like a clearing in the forest. The brain recognizes the old invitation. Don't dominate, don't explain, just coexist. Nature does not ask permission to exist. It grows, changes, withdraws and returns without announce your plans. Words that are born from this rhythm carry the feeling of being accompanied even when there is no one around. When listening to them, the body feels less separation. The eye softens. The border between inside and outside becomes porous. Like the fog that does not distinguish sky from mountain, the brain pays attention because something falls into place without effort. Harmony, in this sense, is not perfect balance. It is continuous adjustment. It's knowing when to move forward and when to stop. Shinto words that evoke this relationship do not teach rules. They sharpen the listening. Humans learn to perceive subtle signs. The tiredness that demands pause, the silence that demands respect, the impulse that demands restraint. None of this is imposed. Everything is perceived. And attention remains because there is life happening, not concepts competing for space. In the forest, no tree grows alone. The roots intertwine, exchange nutrients, support the soil. So is the relationship between the visible and the invisible. Words that point to this interdependence awaken a sense of belonging that calms deeply. The brain, accustomed to defending itself, relaxes when it feels that it does not need to fight alone. There is something greater sustaining the movement, even when it is not seen. In everyday life, this harmony translates into simple gestures. Walk slowly. Listen without preparing a response. Stop before reacting. Shinto words act as reminders discreet of these choices. They don't tell you what to do. but they help you understand when something is out of whack. Like a musical instrument that, upon hearing a pure note, naturally adjusts your strings. When humans try to control the invisible, they create noise. When you try to ignore it, you create emptiness. Harmony is born in the environment, where there is respect and openness. The brain responds quickly to these words because it recognizes the reduction of conflict. There is no internal war. There is no tension constant. There is silent cooperation between what you think and what you feel. The spiritual path of Shinto is not an escape from the world, but a way of walking through it without breaking invisible bonds. Words that evoke this journey attract attention because they offer guidance without rigidity. Like subtle markings on ancient stones, they do not. They tell you to follow, they just indicate that someone has already passed that way in peace. Breathing in harmony means accepting that not everything will be clear, but everything can be experienced with ease. Respect. The invisible does not require belief, only sensitivity. When the brain realizes that he doesn't need to prove anything, he rests. And in this attentive rest, the human feels the world as home, not as battlefield. Harmony is not achieved. She is remembered step by step whenever listening returns. The modern brain lives in a state of alert. He was trained to react, predict, compare, and decide without pause. Every day, thousands of stimuli compete for attention, each demanding an immediate response. In this environment, the mind learns to survive accelerating. The problem is that the faster you accelerate, the less you listen. And the less listen, but you get tired. It is at this point that certain words act as a rest, unexpected. When a Shinto word appears, it carries no instructions or demands, does not promise results, does not activate desires, does not threaten losses. The brain, accustomed to identifying dangers and rewards, finds something outside of this game. There is nothing to gain or lose, just presence. This lack of pressure creates an immediate effect. Attention, stop defending yourself. For the first time in a long time, there is nothing to do. The functional language of the modern world exists to solve problems. She organizes, classifies, directs. Every word points to future action. The spiritual words of Shinto do not point anywhere. They do not push the mind forward or pull back. They stay. And by staying, they offer the brain something rare: permission to stop anticipating. The brain responds quickly because it recognizes a safe environment. Soft sounds, open meanings, and lack of judgment reduce the need for control. Instead, from activating survival mode, these words activate calm observation mode. It's not forced relaxation. It is spontaneous relaxation, as when the body realizes that it is not being observed or evaluated. There is also a profound relief in not needing to understand. The modern brain was conditioned to transform everything into useful information. When something cannot be easily interpreted, frustration arises. But Shinto words do not provoke frustration, provoke calm curiosity. They don't hide, they just don't surrender completely, and that it creates a space where the mind can exist without performance. This space is rare. He doesn't ask for productivity or immediate clarity. It allows the attention fluctuates without getting lost. How to watch clouds move without trying name them. The brain enjoys this state because it reduces the constant effort of choose. You don't have to decide what to feel. There's no need to react. Just realize. Therefore, the response is quick. Not because there is a trick, but because there is simplicity. In a world that is too complex, the simple becomes magnetic. Shinto words work like natural pauses in an overly long sentence. They stop excess without violence. They create a gap where the entire system can reorganize itself. When the brain learns that it can rest in that kind of sound, even if seconds something changes, he starts to seek less stimulation and more quality of presence, not as a technique, but as recognition. Recognition that not all attention needs to be conquered. Some just offer themselves. And when that happens, the mind, modern so tired, finally finds a place where she can just be. In the end, perhaps they are not just words. Maybe they are discreet doors, always open, waiting for someone to slow down enough to notice them. Shinto never asked for the invisible to be explained, just remembered. And remembering sometimes is simply stop resisting what is already present. When a word hits home effortlessly, Something in you recognizes the path, no as destiny, but as inner direction. There are no promises of radical change, nor sudden lighting. There is only a gentle adjustment, like aligning the body to the rhythm of one's own breathing. And that's enough to make everything around you start to seem less hostile, less urgent, less fragmented. These words did not come to replace the modern world, but to create rifts silent inside him, cracks where air enters, where the light finds its way. They remind you that not everything needs to be resolved now, that not every thought needs to be followed, that not every concern deserves an immediate response. Some ask, just listen. Along this path, you are not invited to believe something new, but to feel something old, a sense of belonging that does not depend on a name, a calm that doesn't come the absence of problems, but the absence of constant struggle. When the human returns to walking in harmony with the invisible, the world does not change. The way of inhabiting it changes. Maybe from now on, when you hear certain words, you will notice something different. One small silence before the reaction. A space where attention rests effortlessly. This space is alive. It does not need to be filled out. He teaches, without saying, that there is intelligence in that is not forced. If you allow it, these words will keep coming up in the simplest moments. In the sound of water running, in the wind between leaves, in the interval between two decisions. They do not require ritual or preparation, just presence. And presence is not something you learn, is something that allows. Sign up and continue walking with us along the path of the soul, where haste does not guide, and the silencio also teaches. Here, every step is a return, every pause, a revelation discreet. What if, deep down, what we call attention to is not something we achieve, but something who recognizes us when we finally stop running? What if what we call destiny is just the whisper of the kami that accompany us from birth, hoping that we learn to listen not with the mind but with the space between thoughts? Stay alert. The invisible was never far away. He just waits for the moment when that you slow down enough to walk alongside him.